Hello everyone, my name is Sashibo. So we'll continue the discussion as regard the colonialism we will be talking about. Okay, and if you're watching this video, perhaps you must have watched the first discourse on this colonialism, and we ended the formal discourse in 1900. So we'll start from 1900 today to where we can discuss or to where we can stop, as a matter of fact, as far as today is concerned. Okay. As of 1900, as I said, the UR Nigeria Company license was revoked. Okay, but what happened this year, 1900? The British members did something, divided the country into two parts: Northern Protectorate and Southern Protectorate, and they brought up a system called the indirect system, whereby they use traditional rulers to take charge of the administration here. But under the French colonies, the system that was used was direct rule system. But in all, the total number of countries that was colonized by British member in Africa is about 22 countries. While the total number of countries that were colonized by France is about um, 20 countries. Now, when they divide Nigeria into two parts, Northern Protectorate, Southern Protectorate, they place a rulership in it. The head of North from 1900 to 1906 was a high commissioner known as Frederick Lolugard. When he was in position, in the year 1904, he created community tax, initiated tax from North. Jam will ask you, what location in Nigeria transition started from is North. So in the year 1906, Frederick Lolugard also initiated what we call indirect system. They call him the father of indirect system, 1906, the same North. Indirect system started from the North in Nigeria. But why in Southern Protectorate? From 1900 to 1903, the leader was a guy called Ralph Moore. Ralph Moore supposed to leave position 1906, but Ralph Moore stayed in 1903, route to 1903. But in the year 1903, was having some needing medical attention, so he left position, and he was replaced by Walter Egerton from 1903 or 1904 to 1906. When Walter Egerton was in position, he did something. He carried out the first amalgamation in Nigeria. He brought Lagos, that was made a crown colony, as I earlier said, in the year 1862, and merged it with Southern Protectorate that was formed in 1900 to become what we call Southern Protectorate of Nigeria. Okay? That was done in 1906. So that same year, 1906, Loluga left the country, went to Hong Kong, enjoyed life and all of that. But he returned back to Nigeria as in 1912, and where he was staying was as a Lokoja as at that time. But not quite long, he agitated, he wanted to be general governor. So in the year 1914, Loluga officially became the first general governor in Nigeria, the father of Nigeria. So when he officially became the first general governor in Nigeria from 1914 to the year 1918, when he was in position, he did a lot of things, especially the 1914. In the year 1914, he amalgamated, brought together Northern Protectorate and Southern Protectorate to become a single entity known as Nigeria. That year 1914. Not just that. That year 1914, Lugard was referred to be known as the father of dual mandate, the father of Nigeria. Not just that. That year 1914, Lugard created a body. It's not a legislative council. It was just an advisory council. It was meant to give advice. He named it Nigeria Council. But the crazy thing he did was, in that Nigeria Council, he placed in about 36 members. He divided into two parts: official members and unofficial members. But in the long run, how many official members? 23. All of them were British members. All of them, the official members. While the unofficial members were 13. Inside the unofficial members, we have British members and they were Nigerians. But how many British members were in that 13? 7. 7 British members were still in that 13, which were unofficial. Do you understand? Why did they place 7 to be part of that 13, which were unofficials? Because they wanted to represent their administration which was not only callous, repugnant, or barbaric to the civilization, but it was extremely wicked. But how many Nigerians did not place in? Just 6 Nigerians. But these 6 Nigerians, are they educated? No. They call them drab or illiterate traditional rulers representing the part of Nigeria. And it was crazy. You created a Nigeria council made of about 36 members. You put in just 6 Nigerians that are illiterate traditional rulers, and you put in 30 members. 30 members from British. Does that make sense? It doesn't. It was crazy. And the Nigeria Council cannot even make law. They were meant to give advice. And obviously, it means that the 6 Nigerians that were there, they were illiterate, have no say in the Nigeria Council. So because of that, something happened. Akinwande Savage, a doctor in Nigeria, was pissed off about this matter, was very upset about this matter. He tried his possible best to initiate what we call a nationalist movement. A nationalist movement is a body that helped to fight for independence. He tried his own best so that Africans can take charge of their administration, Nigerians can take charge of their administration, can represent fully in the affair of their state. But it was not possible at that moment. But wait, in West Africa, about 4 countries in West Africa was colonized by British members in West Africa. That 4 countries, one of them is Nigeria, the second one is Ghana, the other one is Sierra Leone, the last one is Gabon. So these countries were colonized, you understand, in Africa by the British members. But what happened? I love what this guy did. Savage tried to reach out to other parts of Africa. He went to Baju. He went to Freetown in Sierra Leone. He went to Accra in Ghana. Reached out to all these countries. In the long run, a guy from Ghana, Accra per se, they call this guy the Joseph Keslen Ephraim Effort. He was willing to assist in this movement. He was a barrister in Ghana. Joseph and Savage from Nigeria, Joseph from Ghana, Savage from Nigeria came together with other countries. They initiated a nationalist movement, first nationalist movement for that matter, known as NCBWA, National Congress of British West Africa. And when they initiated this movement, as of 1919, they fully initiated this movement. This time, this period, the general governor of Nigeria was not this guy called Frederick Law Lugard. As at this time, the second general governor of Nigeria was a guy called Clifford. So Clifford was the general governor from the year 1919 to the year 1925. When Clifford was in administration, under Clifford administration being the general governor in Nigeria, then they initiated the NCBWA. But when the NCBWA was formed, as of 1920, the National Congress of British West Africa, through the leader of Joseph and Savage, they sent delegation to London requesting for a lot of things. Then the then Secretary of State in London, known as Lord Mina, said that Joseph and Savage, or the full NCBWA, are egoist, are self-centered. Well, the NCBWA administrative headquarters was in Accra, Ghana, but they were having branches in the 3 other countries that was colonized by the British members. But what really happened? What were those things they requested for? One was university. They requested for university in 1920. But do you know when the first university was formed in Nigeria? 1948, University of Ibadan. Will you see that request was attained when they requested for it? It was never attained. Never attained immediately. They requested for legislature. Yes, it was given to us under Clifford Constitution 1982. They requested for executive. It was also given to us under Clifford. But in Nigeria, was it represented by Nigerians or by the British members as of 1922 under Clifford Constitution? They also requested for judiciary. They requested for elective principle that gave room to election. And they also request that Racial segregation and discrimination need to be stopped. The Africans need to have the ability to participate in the affair of their state. You know, their request. It's only few they attain. Only few. It's crazy. Few. And when those few are legislative council and elective principle, basically. And this elective principle was first attained in Nigeria under Clifford Constitution, 1922. Then it was attained in Ghana under Frederick Godosberry Constitution, 1925. Then it was also attained in Sierra Leone, you know, and when it was attained in Sierra Leone, it was in 1924 under Alexander Rasmus Slater Constitution. Then it was attained in Gambia, you understand, not Gabon, in Gambia under Hillary Block Constitution, 1947. This is how the legislature and election matter, elective principle, was being attained in these 4 colonized countries in West Africa. So for now, we'll stop here. Our next discourse on this colonialism will be concerned with the second general governor in full, which is Clifford in Nigeria. But now we already know that the first general governor in Nigeria is Frederick Lugard, the father of Nigeria, the father of dual mandate. You understand? He was the one that formed Nigeria Council and placing about 36 members, out of which 30 was waiting British, and the 6 were Nigerians, and they were not educated, rather illiterate and drab. Thank you, and God bless. Just watch out for the next story about this colonial matter. Bye.